What's up, everyone? It's Kanan,
It's Jessie.
and we are the Geeky Sane couple. And you okay there? And welcome to our reaction of RWBY Fairy Tales, I believe, episode 6, The Warrior in the Woods. This is the finale. I really hope they bring this series back. I've actually really enjoyed these. It's been a nice little appetizer while we wait for Volume 9 or any news from Volume 9. Hoping the latest we hear something maybe after the holidays.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. So yeah. I actually do not remember this story at all.
I don't either.
So, like I said, I am awful at starting to read a book and then just not reading it. So
It doesn't help that this one you didn't. I know I didn't either. We didn't read all the way from the start to finish.
Yeah.
We kind of just this one. Let's read this one, or
yeah.
we kind of just picked and chose what.
Well, and like I've said, I'm awful at reading books. I'll read a little bit, then set it down and not read it for months.
Then you forget.
Yeah, and I forget. I forget way more than you do. Sometimes I can't even remember what we did yesterday. But also, a lot of distractions recently. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker came out, and I've been waiting in very long queue lines, but getting to play a little bit, mostly late at night. I think you're starting to hate Final Fantasy XIV because I'm distracted most of the time.
A little bit.
Well, now you know how I feel when you play Genshin. So,
Lately, it's more so Mass Effect.
well, Mass Effect's not an online game, so you... Anyway, we've rambled long enough. Let's get this going. It's 6 minutes and 39 seconds. So, once again, not a very long episode. And if there's something big that we want to comment on, we'll pause it because it is a reaction. This is not a watch-along. But let's get to it.
All right, girls. One story and then
Is
it's
that-
time, okay? I mean it.
Okay, Daddy.
Yes, Yang. I promise you, it is filled
Oh.
with monsters and fighting.
Yes. Monsters are fighting!
All right.
Okay. We've got young, well, they're still young, baby RWBY and Yang, and Ty, voiced by Bernie, telling them a story. So this one's not going to be from
It's
Ozpin.
not Oz. This is gonna be.
Ty telling the girls a bedtime story. Oh, okay, I'm already in. Let's go.
Get in bed. Now,
Wow,
long time ago,
forceful Ty.
surrounded by an enormous forest, a village that had been safe from the creatures of Grimm for as long as anyone could remember. It
It's
had
the
been
village in the
so
woods, pretty much.
The villagers believed that their forest had been charmed and would keep the monsters at bay so long as...
Look at him flying his kite in the middle of the wood. Oh, well. I'm getting Jean energy already. That's the RWBY fandom. Every time we get introduced to a blonde
people became complacent.
male character.
Careless.
Oh, are we going to get commentary from RWBY the whole entire time? But I can already tell you, people will be like, is this an ancestor of Jean? Because Jean does have blue eyes, right?
I think so.
Oh. Ooh, look, blood.
Go home.
Interesting
You
sword.
never saw me. Wait!
I'm trying to figure if that's a...
When the boy made it back to his village, he told no one.
Whose
the
voice is
warrior
that?
had saved him. But he described the terrible monster he had narrowly escaped. Those who believed him took his safe return as proof that the woods protected them. Everyone continued living.
So had he never seen Grimm before?
Everyone. Except the boy.
It's a nice butter knife. I'm sorry, that's not gonna... I mean, you may get lucky and that might do something, but You're going to have to get real close. Wow, he didn't get a chance.
You again.
You remember me?
I remember everyone.
Who is...
And everyone I didn't. I
Why,
told you not to
why
do
can
that.
we not see her eyes?
I had to find you, to bring you this.
I'll take it if it means you'll leave.
Her hair reminds me of Raven.
Next time you enter the woods, you're on your own.
Her attitude reminds me of Raven. That's better. That's better. You went from a butter knife to a steak knife.
Maybe a behemoth steak.
Yeah. Okay. She helped him anyway.
I knew you'd still come to my rescue. Thank you.
I told you I wouldn't save you this time. Why do you keep coming back here?
But you did, so...
I have a question for you.
Go ahead and ask. I don't promise an answer.
Why? Why do you live in the woods alone? Why do you risk your life to save strangers?
Because the
Why do you
woods are
protect
peaceful.
the village? Why?
That's 5 questions. But they all have the same answer. I live here alone because I am alone.
It's like the bangs and all this kind of remind me of Ruby's hair in a way.
People were killed long ago.
I like hairstyles, so...
Everyone I've ever known is dead, and if there are other survivors like me, they're scattered all over Remnant.
Killed by
Okay.
the Grim?
Murdered by other people.
Oh.
We can't see her eyes,
Then
and
why do you protect
people
others?
like her are being hunted.
Because no one else will.
Ish.
And because some people are good, like you. And that gives me hope. Why do you keep coming back to the woods?
You've spent all these years looking after us.
I don't like
I thought
people.
maybe it'd
That's
be
what I
nice
said.
if someone looked after you
Just-
for a change.
Well, don't come back.
Of course, he would come back, but not for another year.
Kids in this village love to fly their kites.
The villagers wondered why the monsters had returned, but the young boy, now a young man, he knew that they had never left.
Oh,
That
definitely got older.
until now, the village had been protected by an unseen warrior, and on the appointed day,
Is that
of the
Azora?
visit, he fought tirelessly to find her. Only this time, she was nowhere to be found. The woods would become too dangerous without their guardian, but the young man was going to do his best to protect the
Dual
village
wielding.
from the place. And finally, tell others of her story, so they would always know who they had to thank for the many years
Is that what he ended up
good
doing?
days that they'd enjoyed.
Yep.
Why did you keep going back there, year after year?
Because that's what I could do. Because no one else would. Because I fell for her. The
What?
moment I saw her silver eyes.
Oh my gosh, she's okay. Oh,
What's wrong, Daddy?
look at Yangus.
Oh, it's nothing, baby. Do you want to hear another story?
Oh,
Nope.
oh.
That one was perfect.
Okay, so yes, she had silver eyes. So we were. Ruby asked him if you were all right, and he started. He was thinking about summer.
Yeah, I think he was.
Maybe. I'm going out on a limb here. I said she reminded me of Raven. Could she have been like, I don't know.
A combination of the two was what he was portraying, or
I get, because just the moment I saw her, she reminded me of Raven. But the silver eyes, the kid fell for her the moment he saw her silver eyes, and then that's right when Ruby says what's wrong, and he's. If you fell for her when you saw her silver eyes, why'd you go with Raven first? Everyone says Team Stark dabbled a little bit. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
But-
it could be possible also, like, just the way that story plays out. He was telling it by his own, placing himself and her in the story.
Maybe,
So
because
that's kind of what it seemed like.
yeah, maybe the boy, the way he looked, was supposed to resemble I don't know. But
I mean, there's tons of possibilities, but that could be possible since he was the one telling the story, and obviously that story meant a lot to him
well, yeah, there's definitely
because of probably either something similar or the relation that he could put Summer in that. And
yeah, because there's definitely a connection because the moment it mentioned Silver Eyes, which I kind of had a feeling because we never saw her eyes, and she mentioned people like her were being hunted by other people. The moment we saw that she had silver eyes, it goes to Ruby. So there's
definitely a connection, whether
Yeah.
it's just that a personal meaning of the story to him, or obviously this has to do
a
with
parallel in
yes,
some way.
it has to do with someone with silver eyes, but to him it just seems like it was definitely close to home for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel kind of cheated that Yang was asleep. I wanted to see Kid Yang. Of course, the older sibling's the first one to fall asleep. But, yeah, that was nice. I actually enjoyed that. I
I didn't expect it to be told from anyone else but Ozpin.
yeah,
So
so that threw me for a loop. But I'm happy for it because
yes,
we got to see young Ruby and hear from her, hear a little bit from young Yang, but so she was knocked out. It was cute though. That was very, very cute.
hair all over the place.
Yeah.
That's kind of exactly how I pictured little Yang.
Once we're done recording, I want to look. I want to cause since they're in like the next two frames, I want to go back later and look at that picture of the warrior with the silver eyes and all that, and then look at the next frame with Ruby, because I'm big with hairstyles. I like whenever I create a character, the one thing I spend the most on is the hair. I think hairstyles are some of the important parts of a character. If a character has a really cool hairstyle, I latch on to them. So I want to go back and look at the warriors, like because her bangs reminded me, like all of this up here reminded me of Ruby in a way. Didn't really resemble Summer's hairstyle because Summer had a bit of a different hairstyle, but I have to go back and look at it. But yeah, I definitely think there's a connection with her and with that Ty was drawing between maybe around Summer and Ruby, and there was a little bit of Raven there in a way.
Yeah, so that's why I think he was pulling his own personal
Yeah.
things into that to parallel the story for both of them because of how she was in the beginning, but
Yeah.
also like obviously showing how special Summer and Ruby are because of their eyes.
Yeah, and now I can see why they waited to do this one last, because they wanted to throw Ruby and Yang and Ty in there. So that was a good way of ending the I guess season one, if you will, with a character that we're all, the main character of the entire show, and her kind of being them kind of insinuating a relation for Ruby into this story in a way, and also connecting Summer and all that. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Got anything else you can think to throw in? All right, well, that was our reaction to the finale of RWBY Fairy Tales, The Warrior in the Woods. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hopefully Rooster Teeth brings this series back. This would be great after the hiatus, or during the hiatus between RWBY volumes. I would like them to be a little bit longer, like not as far as episode length, but like maybe episode count. But, they can only do so much. But really enjoyed it. So, as always, guys, this is Kanan.
This is Jessie.
We love you all very, very much. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.